Hi everyone, I'm Carl and in this video we'll be turning this sketch into a vector image. The software we'll be using is Inkscape, a free open source vector graphics application, which you can get from inkscape.org, link in the description. Okay, I have a photo of the sketch open in Inkscape and to begin with I'm going to lock the layer with the sketch and create a new layer to work in. I will be hiding the sketch later, so I don't want to be drawing on it. With the new layer selected, I'm using the Bezier Curve tool to draw the outline of the bunny. Just click to place a node, then hold the left mouse button down and drag to adjust the curve. Don't worry too much about getting an exact outline, you can go back and tweak it later. Of course, if something looks really off, you can always Ctrl Z to undo, back to the previous node. If you would like to follow along, I'm going to leave the sketch and the Inkscape files on my site. Speaking of sites, if you would like to host your own, I suggest you check out Bluehost, link in the description below. This is an affiliate link, so if you buy any of their services through it, I get a small commission at no cost to yourself. I have been hosting with them for some years now, and I ended up moving all my sites to them because they're really great to work with. Right, back to drawing. I am going to skip ahead a bit so you don't have to watch me trace the full outline. Okay, we're in the last bit now, and as I close the curve I get this outline. I want to turn this into a silhouette, so I change the fill color to solid black and set the stroke color to none. I still need to be able to see the sketch under this for now, so I will temporarily make this translucent by dropping the alpha value here to a low number. Next, I'm going to lock the layer I was working on and add a new layer, where I'm going to draw in the white area on the bunny. This time I'm only vaguely following the outline and I'm only drawing around the areas that would be getting a lot of light, in a very stylized way of course. Other than that, it's exactly the same as the black outline we just did. This time I set the fill to white. I'm not happy with the way this arm is looking, it's a bit too straight, so I'm going to modify the curve a little. Using the node editing tool, I can move the control points on the curve around and use the two handles attached to these points to alter the curve. In this case, I also need a couple of control points to smooth it, which I can do by selecting two adjacent points and clicking Add Node at the top of the window. Once it looks decent, it's time to color in the bunny's head and ears. Exactly the same procedure. Okay. Layer locked, and it's time to start adding some details. Before that, I'm going to drop the opacity of these layers to make them transparent. Kind of like we did with the alpha earlier, but less fiddly if you have multiple objects in play. This step is fairly quick as we're just drawing lines and pressing enter or right clicking to end the curve without closing the path. However, I will be adding a sublayer for the stitches, as this allows me to select and modify them in one go. I'm using the stroke style to thicken up these lines and make the ends round. Moving on, I am going to add a nose and some color to the belly and ears. Same as before, new layer, Bezier tool, you know the drill by now. Next up, the eyes. I'm using the ellipse tool to get the overall shape of the buttons, and by holding down shift we can draw the ellipse around the point. By default it works off a corner, and I find drawing around the point much easier. Using the Bezier tool, I add a little patch here. This time I will use alpha so that the patch I just drew shades the underlying color. I repeat on the other eye and add more little ellipses to simulate buttonholes. I'm using Ctrl D to duplicate them, then moving them in place. And for the stitches, you guessed it, Bezier tool. With the eyes done, I group each eye separately. This lets me select and move them around in one unit, rather than having to move every single component. The reason I'm doing this is to find a good position for them, because eye positions can make the difference between creepy, funny and other stuff. I'm just moving them around till it looks okay to me. As a final step in this video, let's add some shading. I'm not going to draw the hat and other accessories here, because that's really just the same procedure you already watched. To add shading, I just draw shapes where I want the shading to go, turn off capital O and pick a color. You can also adjust the position of the shape as you prefer. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful, and if you know someone who might enjoy this, please share the video with them. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and if you have questions or ideas, please drop me a comment below or on my Facebook page. Thank you for watching and see you around.